think it's good.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Hello, my name's Laura, and I'm a designer. Can I just ask everyone before I start, how many other designers and creatives do we have? So, probably about half of you. Brilliant. Well, I've not come here today to talk about my design work, but to share my design thinking. I've been a designer for 8 years, with the last 3 working for myself. When I set up as a studio 3 years ago, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what it is that I do and what it is that I do well. Because design is such an image-orientated industry, I fell into the trap of thinking that I needed a distinctive visual style to kind of represent me. And after lots of experimentation, mainly with grids, because I use them for everything, I still couldn't figure out a style and where I fitted. But it wasn't until recently that I actually realized that actually having a style wasn't the answer. And the thing that I do and the thing that I absolutely love to do is the thing that you can't see. It's the actual conceptual process in which that I create my work is what I love to do. So I've chosen 3 projects today to share with you the processes in which that I work. For me, the experience of creating ideas and connecting concepts together is actually why I do what I do. So I always start with writing. I love words, and I have many favorite words. I always look to formulate a sentence that can describe an idea before I actually do anything visual. It's then something that I can refer back to when I'm then creating the visuals throughout the whole process. That I can always make sure that I'm staying true to the idea. This is a sentence that I wrote for branding a self-storage company, which reads, to think outside your home or business and beyond the possibilities of new storage space. And from that sentence, I was then able to get the idea for the name Beyond Storage. I then experimented with ideas around the kind of expanding a space and thinking beyond your home. This is the final brand mark that I created for Beyond Storage, and it's actually a 3D shipping container made out of 2 arrows, showing the expanding of space and moving beyond. One of the printing materials that I created for Beyond Storage was this 3-step booklet, which I designed to represent the shipping containers themselves. So I don't know if you can see, but the white is like a ridged embossed paper to represent the side of the shipping containers. The grey is one of the Beyond arrows, and the square is the front smooth edge of the containers. So I love it when you can sum up a concept in as few words as possible, with each word bringing an extra layer of meaning to the concept. This also explains very much how I like to design, in that I try and create work in its simplest, purest form, but when you look further into it, there's lots of hidden meaning. A great example of this is my outbox branding I did for a document management company. And the brand mark itself actually started out as this precise 4-stage document lifecycle, which is represented by 4 A4 proportion-sized documents, which I arranged in a circle to create the letter O. Then I added the arrows in between to signify the direction of movements of the documents across the country, so the north, east, south, and west. Added the gradient of colour to enhance the sense of motion, and managed to squeeze in an invisible box within the logo type, if you just saw that. So I often get to the very end part of the process and start to begin to kind of question every single little detail, which can kind of get quite annoying, just to make sure that everything has a purpose. So for the Manchester in Mind exhibition, I was given the brief to create a poster that celebrates Manchester and the minds that make it. So my theme was 19th century Manchester when cotton was king, and I decided to make a poster out of 2 layers. The first was a map of Manchester, of the mills from 1891, which I plotted, and then I chose 9 of the favourite that I wanted to feature. The exhibition itself was actually in aid of raising money for the Manchester charity Manchester Mines. So I chose the word curiosity because to be curious actually stimulates a positive mindful state. I then designed the bespoke typeface to reflect that of the heavy machinery and the thin cotton. The second layer, which you can't really see on that wall, was actually the cotton industry process. So from top to bottom, I illustrated where the rain fell onto the pennines that turned the water wheels, that powered the machines for spinning and weaving. Oh, it's kind of gone off. Oh.
I'll give you 10 seconds.
Is it still going? Oh. So then that was the final poster print on the right. The colours were also really important to me. The gold reflected the wealth of the industry, the black for the harsh working conditions inside the mill, and the white signified the cotton. So 50% or even more of the work that went into these projects you probably can't see in the final result. But I don't think I could really work in any other way. For me, chasing ideas and concepts is far more important than having a distinctive visual style. And it's from this contrast of exploring lots of rough ideas and then being able to refine and perfect them at the end digitally is how I love to work. So it's from this process of starting with just words, a simple description of an idea, blending concepts together and questioning everything is where I believe that you can create more meaningful, more purposeful, and more valuable piece of design. Thank you.